So Chapter 2, Section 1 deals with our head content and page properties. Now, if you do a website search, you are going to find that the page titles and your head content is going to be that information that's going to come across that you're going to see on a regular Google search. So it's important that you set your properties correctly so that people will know what it is. Most people don't visit a site. You have your main heading, and then below there's that little paragraph. If that paragraph is there, people aren't going to know exactly what's on there. So you want to make sure that you include that information. The other thing we'll take a look at doing is some of our link colors and other options from there. So on the right-hand side, please make sure that under your files, that you're under your defined site called Striped Umbrella. Are you that far yet, Madison? You have Striped Umbrella? Oh, sweet, you are working hard then. Okay, so once you have Striped Umbrella located on the right-hand side, Inman, you need to be with me on this one, okay? We're doing this as a class project. Okay. We want to make sure that we go through and open up our index.html, okay? And this is the page that we did together in class before. We found this page. We did a file save as. Because we defined our site and set our default images folder there, it then appears right under here under our assets folder. Again, we did this together last week. But basically what we want to do is we're going to look at this toolbar way up here. Do you see where my mouse is? Right above the letter the. Okay. The first one we have here is our meta icon. Then we have our title icon, and then we have CSS. We should know that. Is yours not there? No. Okay. It's not just everyone is looking back and forth. I'm like, all right. So try this. Go to View. And then you want to go ahead and click on Head Content. Do you see where it is? My mouse is on it. Okay, so now it's on. Again, because I've used it before, it was automatically there. So if you didn't want it on, you'd go there and you would uncheck it and go from that point. Okay? What did you guys do? Anyone else that can't click it? Or just the two lucky souls up front? Lucky souls up front. All right, let me troubleshoot that. Solution to the problem. You must be clicked on your page in order to turn on your head content. Otherwise, you can't do it. So, great. Thank you, Reed. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to click on the title icon, which is the middle one. And I think my computer's freaking out. Well, my mouse is all wiggling. Do you see that? Jumping back and forth? It is. And then down here on the bottom, you will notice that your property panel has changed because you have the title selected up here in the head content. Down here, we have the title. And we are going to type some more information. So after umbrella, you're going to hit space, and we're going to type in beach, resort, and spa, comma, fort, which is FT, capital FT, period, Eugene, well, that's what you would say. When you wouldn't say, you would say Fort Eugene, but they abbreviate it as FT, Florida. If you have a hard time seeing what I typed there because it's tiny, I am on page 2-6, instruction number 4, if that helps you. So now it reads, the striped umbrella, beach resort and spa, comma, Fort Eugene, comma, Florida. And then you can hit enter. And then it went away. Laffy Taffy for the spot for the person that can find where the title is appearing right now. Where?
I can't even eat that anyway. I don't know why I tried.
Because you're competitive, right? We're talking about right here. Could I have typed up here? Yes. One of the things, you have multiple ways of going through and doing this, but one of the things when you're building your pages, this is our index page, this is our home, this is our landing page, this is what's going to be the first page that comes up in a Google search, basically. We can turn on our head content here, again, get to our page properties, we'll then open up down here on the bottom. Does that make sense? Yep. Now, we're going to do our keywords. Okay, so in order to do our keywords, we have to go over here under our Insert panel. And then I'm going to scroll down on my Insert panel, and you have to find this. Okay, I'll move mine down a little bit. It really is a ways down, so I'm going to scroll down. And you are going to find the head content. Now notice, there's a little drop-down menu where it says head description, and we're going to go to keywords. And when you click on keywords, this pop-up menu would come up. Now, what are keywords? Say it again. Depending on, yes. Mine is a little bit different because the last time I was on it, I was on description. You deleted that, so you have to go under window, and then you have to find your insert. There you go. There it was. You would have clicked it off. So, keywords, do you want to try it again? I'm sorry, you were saying that. Insert? Sorry, keywords? Do you know what they are? Important to the words to the page. Oftentimes, think about it. When you are trying to find something, you don't type in a big sentence. I hope you don't do a search where you type in a big sentence. What do? One or two words. Keywords. Now, here's something that the Internet Society has changed. Originally, how all of your sites were coming up on a Google site search are going to be based on keywords. But web designers and naughty people got a little sassy, okay? I know. They would put words in the keywords that did not necessarily relate to what was really on the page. So people could put keywords on there to say state-winning basketball team, but that has nothing to do with striped umbrella. Does that make sense? Keywords are still important. We want to have that information on there. But what we have now is our pages are actually searched and gone through using a spider, using Google. They go out and spider pages. It actually reads the content on your page and develops a logarithm based on what would be their main keywords, but we still want to put it on there in case people are like, oh, what does this really deal with? But do you see how they would go through and change that? When I talk about naughty people, I'm saying like the really sick people that have sites redirect to naughty images that kids would go to. Like my boy wants to learn about SpongeBob, they type it in wrong, not knowing, and then it takes them to some really illicit, naughty web pages. Does that make sense? So that's why they wanted to go through and have a different way for that to come up. So what we have to do is we're going to enter in our keywords here for striped umbrella. The keywords are going to be separated by commas. So when you talked about a keyword, like one keyword could be the striped umbrella, comma, and then we could have Florida, comma, Gulf of Mexico, comma. So anything between the commas would be like those words that people would search. So there is a lot of keywords, and you're going to find that information on instruction number 3 on page 2-7. I will say them out loud. The first one is going to be the striped umbrella. Do you need to spell it correctly? Yeah. Does capitalization matter? Yes. So we have the striped umbrella, and then we have beach resort, spa, no, Fort Eugene, Florida, Gulf of Mexico. I'm pausing between the commas. Fishing, dolphin cruises. So the ones that are capitalized would be the name of the business, the striped umbrella, the name of the city, Fort Eugene, Florida. The Gulf of Mexico is also capitalized because it is a specific place. So basically it's a noun, so you would capitalize that. Fishing and dolphin cruises do not get capitalized. Once you have those done, you can click on OK. Yep, so the striped umbrella, comma, beach resort, comma, spa, comma, Fort Eugene, comma, Florida, comma, Gulf of Mexico, comma, fishing, comma, dolphin cruises. No comma after dolphin cruises because that's the last one. Guess what we're going to do next? Well, we did the title. We did our keywords. Now we're going to do our description. That description really is truly that paragraph that's going to come up. Then when you read it on the page, where do you think we're going to find that? Over here, you can click on the head section, and then you will notice that you have description. Do you notice, did anything change on our head content bar that was up there? The key is there now. Why? We added keywords. So before that, keywords were not on there. Okay, title was on there. So now we're going to add a description. So that is an easy way for a web designer to know, do I have that done already without going through and looking at your code? So your description is on page 2-8 in instruction number 2. It reads, the Striped Umbrella is a full-service resort and spa just steps from the Gulf of Mexico in Fort Eugene, Florida. This spelling and capitalization matters also because people will view that in your searches. Okay, so when we click on OK here or Enter at the very end, you will notice what happened up in the very top? Yes, we have our description that's going to pop up here. So we went from starting with 3 options to now having our keywords and our descriptions on there. Okay, now by default, every page that you open will always have a title. And if you make a blank page, what is that title called? Untitled. Do people want to see a page on your tabs when you have your browsers up that says Untitled? No. It's really easy to forget that step, so make sure that you do go through and you change that. Okay, another way you can view what we did, because if you didn't want to click here and have it down below to see, I can go ahead and actually look at my code, and you will notice right here, this is going to be my head content. Okay, my head starts here and ends here. We went through and we set our title, which is on this line, line 5, and then on line 20 we have our keywords. So if I wanted to change anything, I can physically type right here in the code as well, and I can also go through in line 21 and change any of my content in here. Now what is between the parentheses is going to be the text that's actually going to appear. The rest of it is actually the content that's going to make the code work for viewing that web page. So basically, again, I just went from design view to code view in order to view my head content. Now, when we take a look at this page, I really like the graphic on the top. That, again, is called a banner. That's going to span your whole page. But taking a look at, I don't know, what do you think about that blue color? It's all all right. Makes me feel beachy, but it doesn't really match this. So let's go through and see how we can change our page properties without going in and typing hexadecimal code within our HTML. To do that, we're going to click on Modify, and then we're going to go to Page Properties. Very top menu item. Okay, when you go to Modify Page Properties, you're going to get a pop-up window that's going to appear, and you're going to see on the left-hand side we have a whole series of categories that we can set and use for the page properties for this index page. Now, if I change the page color on this one, does it do it for all of these other pages here?
No.
No. How would I get all of these page colors to change? How could I make that work? CSS, that's worth a left taffy. Wow. So CSS would be an option for that. So what I'm going to do is right here we have the background color is set to #6CF. Now here's the fun thing. If I click on this little drop-down menu, this is when I get that eyedropper tool, and I can go up and say, I want this color yellow. And then if I clicked on OK,
Yuck.
But do you see how the eyedropper tool worked? Modify page properties again. If I click on the drop-down menu, I can go anywhere on there. I can pick the purple from the sand dollars. Now, if I click on OK, my pop-up menu goes away. But if I click on Apply, my pop-up menu still stays there, so I don't have to reopen it. So I can go through and use the eyedropper tool.
There we go. On green.
Can I type in a hexadecimal value?
Of course not.
Of course I could.
Do hashtag
But we're going to be boring right now, and we're going to set our page properties to white. And white is the bottom right-hand side. I would like white. And again, and the hexadecimal value for the page properties is going to be FFFFF. But I find if I already have my hand on the mouse, I would much rather click instead of going back on my keyboard to type it in. So I click there, hit Apply. Don't change the text.
What's before?
Black. There are a whole series of things that we can go through and change here, but we're just changing our page color, even though that... I know, that's me. I'm a teacher.
So, I could be a teacher, but I'm not going to be blocked.
All right, that is section 2-1. I'm not going to start 2-2 because I know I'm not going to get through it today. But 2-2 that we're going to take a look at tomorrow, we're going to take a look at that importing text that I talked about at the beginning of the hour. We're going to take a Word document, import it, and we're going to do some formatting, changing our fonts. Remember, we have font families that we get to use. You have serif or sans serif fonts. And then within there we can change. We can set our font sizes, which we did all previously with hexadecimal, HTML coding, but we'll show you how to do it with clicking and using our WYSIWYG interface.